Dear students, I am Dr. A. Nirmala, Assistant Professor, PG Department of Computer Applications, St.Joseph College of Arts and Science, Autonomous Cuddalore 1. In this session, we will discuss about the architecture of e-commerce. Important topic of e-commerce architectures. E-commerce architecture types, client-server architectures. In this one tier, two tier, three tiers, and n-tier architectures are available. And then component of e-commerce architectures, advantage of e-commerce architecture, application of e-commerce architectures, conclusions. E-commerce architecture types. First one is client-server architectures. In this architecture, the client send a request to the server. The server process the request of the client and send the valid data to the client. So the client only initially send the request. Based on the request only, the server respond it. And then client-server architecture, the client first send a request and it receive the resources from the server. And the server provide a service based on the request provided available by the requested by the client. And then resources will be sent from the server to the client. The client-server architectures enable multiple clients to connect to a single server, allowing for the centralized management, scalability, and efficient use of resources. The types of client-server architecture is one-tier architecture, two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture, n-tier architectures. In the one-tier architecture, both the client and the server are on the same machines. Two-tier architecture, client and server are on a separate machines. And three-tier architecture, presentation layer, application layer, and data storage layer or data access layers. In n-tier architectures, multiple layers, each handling specific functions, example, load balancers and caching layers. Advantages of client-server architecture scalability. Suppose large number of clients can be attached, and then security, centralized management, and authentications. Easy maintenance, update server without affecting the client. Flexibility, support client types. Example, web, mobile. Disadvantage, if there is any single point of server, that the server will be failed and it will affect all the clients that will be connected to this specific server. Network dependence, clients require network connectivity. Server overload, high traffic can overrun this server, and these are all the disadvantages of the client server architectures. Real world example, web browser, and then email clients, and then mobile apps, online gaming are the real world example of the client server architectures. Two-tier architectures, that is the client layer and the server layer. It consists of the web browser, mobile application, that is user interface or user experience, or how the user interact with the front-end client, makes a request to the server. And the server layer handles both the applications and the logic and the data storage and the database management system. The single backend server acts as both the application server and the database server. Three-tier architecture. Here the client layer is a presentation layer, is the front-end layer. On this layer send the user request and display the response of the servers. Middle layer, it receives the request from the client, communicates with the database to get or update the data, perform calculation, and send the results back to the client. Data layer is a data access layer architecture. This backend layer consists of the database management that is used to store the data and manage the data what are all available on the database. Component of e-commerce architectures, client tier, web server tier, application tier, and database tier. Here the web browser, it is a front end accessible from a browser. The client can send a request from the web browser. Mobile app is a native iOS or Android app for mobile shopping. Payment gateway for processing the credit card or online payment, for buying and selling the products to the payment gateway. The web server tier, the web server Apache serve the website pages and assets. Application like server like Tomcat, JBoss host the backend application logic. A reverse proxy server provides security, load balancing, and caching. Application layer. The middle tier implements the core business logics. Component for catalog moments, that it will be the application layer only the middleware, and it will be receive the request from the presentation layer, that is client, and send a request to the database data access layer, that is to the backend, and receive the data from the database, and then the application layer send the data to the presentation layers, that is authentication, authorization, and accounting systems will be managed by the application tier. Database tier, the backend tier store and manage all data that is relational database like MSQL, Oracle, and SQL Server. SQL database like MongoDB for big data storage and data analytics systems. Advantage of e-commerce architectures are scalability, availability, performance, security, maintainability, flexibility, cost, efficiency, reliability, and compliances, how they are integrated. Then application of e-commerce architecture, online retail such as Amazon, Walmart, eBay, etc. Travel portals as airline, hotels, car rentals, food delivery that the customer can food ordering and delivery platforms like GroupHub, and then media streaming, Netflix, marketplaces, on-demand services, crowdfundings, gaming, etc. Conclusions: E-commerce architecture have evolved from simple client-server model to sophisticated multi-tier architectures in order to support the massive growth in online transaction demand for scalability. The separation of concern between presentations, business logic, and data tiers enables e-commerce platform to be highly robust, secure, and extensible. Here, the e-payments, the presentation layer from the browser send a request, it will reach to the application layers, and then it really goes to the database layer, and there will be checked whether the correct customers are accessing the data, and then authentication will be sent to the application layer. Then it will be sent to the client layer to pay the amount. So everything will be processed, will be carried out only with the client server model. So the e-commerce architectures have growth has from simple client server models to and the sophisticated multi-tier architectures. Thank you.